In the midst of the 1930s, a period marked by the weight of the Great Depression, American families faced an extraordinary uphill battle. Unemployment and poverty were widespread, casting a shadow of hardship across the nation. Yet from the heart of this struggle, a remarkable tapestry of resourcefulness emerged. People navigated the tough times with incredible creativity, devising frugal living techniques and timeless money lessons that continue to resonate today. Watch the full video as we uncover the invaluable frugal living techniques and timeless money lessons that emerged from the heart of adversity, guiding us on a journey toward financial stability and well-being in our own modern lives. Let's get started. Number 1. Save for emergencies. After the fun and booming times of the 1920s, a time when many people had lots of money after World War I, something really bad happened called the Great Depression. This was like a big shock that hit the whole country, and most people didn't see it coming. Some folks who didn't save enough money found themselves with no money, no job, and a lot of debt. One really important thing we can learn from the Depression is that unexpected things can happen, so it's smart to plan for the future. Number 2. Do it yourself. Back when the Great Depression was happening, people had a special rule. If you wanted something but didn't have money, the best thing to do was make it yourself. People created all sorts of stuff right at home, like clothes and things to clean with. They even made toys like dolls out of corn husks to keep the kids happy. Number 3. Take steps to avoid debt. One big reason why many people were poor during the Great Depression is because in the fun times of the 1920s, a lot of Americans borrowed money from stores and got loans that they had to pay back in parts. But when the stock market crashed and people lost their jobs, those who borrowed money were left with a huge pile of money they owed and no way to give it back. Number 4. Eat at home. Back in the 1930s, most Americans didn't go out to eat. They cooked all their meals at home, and the recipes they used were pretty creative. They made things like vinegar pie, dandelion salad, and a dish called Hoover stew, which had macaroni, hot dogs, and whatever food they could find. Number 5. Don't be afraid to relocate. In the 1930s, when the country was already facing big economic problems, the Southern Plains states had another issue. They had no rain, and there were lots of storms that blew dirt around. This made it really hard for farmers to grow crops. Because of this, many people who lived there had to leave and go where there was work. More than 2 million folks moved away from that area in what's called the Dust Bowl. Number 6. Protect your family with life insurance. Being a parent is already a tough job, but during the Great Depression, things were even harder. It was difficult to make sure your family had enough food and a place to live, and if something happened to you, your kids might have been left with no money. But there was something that helped families back then. It's called life insurance. This was like a safety net that gave families money when they really needed it, even when banks couldn't help. It stopped many families from going completely broke. Number 7. Live within your means. When the 1920s were booming, many Americans thought it was okay to spend more money than they really had. They bought expensive things using a payment plan. This meant they paid a little money up front, and then more money every month, with extra cost added. It's a bit like taking a loan for everything they bought. Unfortunately, this didn't turn out well for them. To make sure you're okay during the pandemic, you should learn from this and not do the same thing. Keep track of how much you spend each month and try to only buy things you really need, using the money you already have. Number 8. Refinance your mortgage. When the Great Depression happened, people who owned houses couldn't pay their mortgage anymore. To stop them from losing their homes, President Franklin D. Roosevelt made a new law in 1933. This law let Americans change their loan terms so they could still keep their houses. Today, refinancing is still a helpful thing to do if you have a home loan. It can help you cut down how much you pay every month and save you lots of money each year. Number 9. Odd jobs are better than no job. As the Great Depression continued, people did any kind of work they could find. This included small jobs like chopping wood or clearing snow, and they got paid when the job was done. Nowadays, these kinds of short jobs are often called side gigs, and they're not just about physical work anymore. There are cool websites like Fiverr where you can offer all kinds of services like editing, art, or even recording your voice for things. Number 10. If you want to retire, start saving now. During the Great Depression, hardly anyone got to retire. In 1930, Over 63% of men between 65 and 74 years old were still working. When the market crashed, folks didn't have money saved up. They had to keep working just to get food and a place to live. They had to work until they couldn't anymore. If you want to avoid working until you're really old, it's smart to start saving money for when you stop working. Even now, Social Security doesn't give you enough to live on comfortably. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss an upload and you can enjoy the excellent content I send your way.